Order. Home.
Graduating class 106, College of the Mainland Law Enforcement Academy. 13 people who started this journey back in February. Someday I definitely can tell you what date that was. And graduated October 15th, and all 13 passed their TCLOS test October 16th, and that's a day they will never forget. And because they all passed the first time, my fingernails are drawn back and life is getting back to normal. We've spent 8 months together, and I told them at the start that it would be a long 8 months. It would be hard. There would be nights, almost any given night, somebody was ready to quit, and it was everybody else's responsibility to keep them from doing it. Was that right? There were a lot of hard times. But you know what they've done? Texas has some of the highest standards in the nation for becoming a peace officer, and that's academically. Physically, there's a lot of challenges. Everybody went to work all day, went to school at night, went a lot of Saturdays. And what they've proven to themselves is there's something deep down inside every one of us that you reach down and you get hold of it, and it will get you through what you need to do. So I congratulate you. I am proud to have been part of your training. Thank you.
And it's like Captain Tidwell said, they learned a lot about themselves through this whole thing. It's a long 8 months. Normally, the attrition rate for a nighttime academy is close to 35%. This class started with 15 and finished with 13, and that's less than 12%. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do. But what we're finding out with a lot of the new people that come in is that they don't have the drive and determination.
I would just like to say that I'd like first welcome you here today, because these classmates of mine, these officers over here, because what your support, none of us probably would be standing up here today, because it was really rough. And to the dears up here, our guests and all of the family members and everyone. I would just like to say that for myself and for the class, this has probably been one of the most difficult things that I've ever done in my life. You know, I had an opportunity to play in professional basketball and do some be in business, but physically and mentally, this was a chore. This was a very difficult, very hard, very physical, as I said, and mentally draining. And every night that you would get there, and you just never knew that it was just going to rise. But with my classmates and with all of the support system which I think was developed, we were able to pull it through. But I would just like to bring up Mark T. and also Bobby Thurman. Mr. T, he's a very interesting. I know Captain Tidwell and was saying how a lot of us work during the day and all of that. Mr. T, he not only worked a full-time job, he was working on his master's at the University of Houston, and he also was doing this class. So he had a dual action, situation. But I just would like to truly, just to give you a little about why I did it in speaking for the class. When I was a kid, I had a dream. And a lot of these guys are very young, and I think Mr. Teague and myself, we are the seniors of this class. But it's great when you have hard work, dedication, and sacrifice in order to achieve and accomplish your goals, which you have been in your mind for so long, and all of a sudden it began to you have a seed there that needed water, then all of a sudden it gets a little water and it begins to bud, it begins to grow. And when Chef Greg Arthur was telling me that they had an academy and that they was about to start an academy, and it was just one of those great situations that I could not wait to enroll in and to be a part of. So I don't want to hold you guys here all day because I could really begin to talk and hold you here all day. But I would like to bring up Marty, and I would like to bring up Bobby right now, because we have some special awards that we would like to give out to some of our instructors and some of the guests. But
Good evening. My name is Mark Teague, and I'll be giving Mr. Hayes and Mr. Sermon presenting some of the plaques that we have to give out this evening. The first one we'd like to give to the big one to Sheriff Greg Arthur. He provides facilities and provides support throughout the program. So I'd like to thank you very much. Also, he provided vehicles and he provided equipment. It's much appreciated. The next person is B.J. Whitmer. He is the coordinator from the College of the Mainland. Ms. Alfred? She taught civil process, she taught theft identity, and she did a review, and the class had a 100% pass rate, so she did a great job. Warden Tim New, are you here, sir? We'd like to thank him as well. He provided and helped with facilities, and also he allowed 4 of his employees.
Special kind of accreditation to these two guys, because Mr. T, through all this hard work, Mr. T was valedictorian of the class, and recall that he had gone on his life experience and all the knowledge, and I think that the most important thing now, and I learned when I was in the 8th grade, I learned one word, and to a lot of the law enforcement officers here and a lot of the people with different departments, I'd just like to say that on the one word I learned and the one word I depend on most of all is, I will be dependent on is help. And so, not too proud to holler help, and I will need a lot of your help, because a lot of which we have learned in the classroom, a lot of which we have learned with the different experiences and going out and participating in the different segments of this class. But the most important thing will be once we get out on the street, once we begin to do what we have learned day to day, and we're going to need your help, because you have the experience. We have some of the knowledge, but the experience also is very important. And I just really, truly, once again, want to say I thank the family, because if it really wasn't for you, I know a lot of time Rodden, she missed her children's baseball game, and I know the husband had to go and do it, and you would hear her say, you know, baseball season is starting tonight, I'm not going to be able to, and we got one of the quarterfinal tests to go to, and so, you know, it was really hard on the students as well as the family. So from all of us, we just like to say really true. Thank you very much.
I just want to thank you for being here, and thank the College of the Mainland for you putting on this academy through the Sheriff's Department. We'll take time to thank Mayor Pickett and the City of Liberty for allowing us the facility. Wonderful place they've got here. Now we'll thank Captain Tidwell.
Jennifer Bowles.
be your newest Liberty County deputy.
Graduation is a cause for celebration. It is an accomplishment. They deserve to be complimented for it. You've done well. There will be a reception following this. We'll be set up for a reception in here. You need to stay around and visit. Be safe. Dismissed.
He said, "All right, Elvin."
Yeah, by the way. What was it, 190?
Okay, come on out of there, Elvin.
You gonna get me getting out, huh? Come on over here, Sheriff.
Get Sheriff over here.
Actually, he would be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, it's the
Same
same.
thing.
He doesn't have a number.
No, it's the same
He won't
thing.
say the wrong name or nothing.
No, I don't have any. I don't have any. The badges don't have none.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why you can't think of something else?
Video has to tell a story. That's it's harder. Still photos, we can get away with one picture.
Okay, Sheriff, first of all, your name?
Greg Arthur.
Greg, tell me, how did you come across Mr. Hayes as far as a deputy? Tell me a little bit about the deputy.
Well, I've got to know Elvin several years ago, and last year, whenever we had a police academy, he expressed some interest in it, but he got in just a little bit late, and he talked about it for the whole year. Was interested in the next class, and there's a lot of people that interested in it, but when they find out what kind of commitment you've got to make, both financially and just time-wise, the 4 hours a night, 5 days a week, and sometimes on weekends for 8 months, you lose a lot of those people. But he has been committed, and he's been exciting, and we've been excited about having him.
About bringing him in the department now, how do you think? What kind of reaction do you think he'll get once he's out on the streets?
Oh,
General
I think he Elvin deals well with people, especially with kids. I've got a lot of things that I would like to get him involved with, and things that he's interested in. We're going to sit down and talk about some things, but I think it's going to be a positive reaction.
Get a ticket just to get his autograph, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Elvin, tell me a little bit about how did you? Let's do one thing here. How did you come about deciding to be a police officer? I mean, all your accomplishments all over the years, basketball, everything else. What brought this on?
Well, I think that when you're a kid, people always say, what would you like to be? And I think that each person always say, I like to be a fireman, a police officer, and I always wanted to be a police officer. And in the 60s, where in 50s when I was growing up, the opportunity didn't afford itself, so I went into basketball. And as that evolved and I began to get kind of good in basketball, you kind of forget the policing, that your original goal and your original dream, that and the seed that I sowed. And as I went on off to college and finished high school and went off to college and then had an opportunity to play professional basketball for 16 years, I got out, I went into the car business, and you know, just kind of, but it was always there. It was always something that I wanted to do, and fortunately, I bought a dealership up here in Liberty County. I got to meet Chef Greg Arthur, and got to know him really well. And he was telling me about, he had an academy that they just had finished, and that they was going to be starting another one, and that maybe I should, you know, maybe think about it. And I thought about it. I was excited about it. I just couldn't wait to really get involved and get in it, because that it was like all of a sudden that little seed had blossomed into a huge tree, and it just needed the watering. And now I had a fertile place to plant it and for it to grow. And it was just really exciting.
What about, let me ask you too, about your school. What was your most difficult going through the school?
Well, there is really no easy. I think that when you first start, you start out in wellness and you start out in the history of policing. And all of a sudden you hit it. You hit Code of Criminal Procedure. Then you hit the Penal Code. And, from there on, there is nothing easy. It's search and seizure. You learn the Constitution, Texas and the U.S. Constitution. You learn all the law cases. You learn juvenile. You learn the family codes. You learn the traffic codes, use of force. It's all there. You learn building searches. You learn outdoor searches. You learn the whole gamut of policing. There is no easy course. There is no easy one step or one course. I think that the easiest part, like I say, is the welcoming, saying, hey, you're welcome into the academy, and maybe, like, if anything, maybe the history of policing and the wellness of it.
Now, what about your family? How do they feel about this? I mean,
Well,
being a police officer now, how do they feel about it?
They're very excited. Sometimes they think that something hit me on the head. They say, what are you doing? And but they know it's been a dream. It's been something that I've always wanted to do, and they're very excited for me.
What kind of duties you're going to be doing? I mean, besides
Well, I will
street, the sheriff said you're going to be doing some stuff with the kids and that too.
Yeah, I will be doing street patrol. I will be doing, first I'll have to get with the field training officer, and everything that I've learned in school and everything that we have gone through in our training, now it's time to put it into really actual, doing. And so I will be doing civil processing. I will be speaking at schools with kids. I will be working on investigations, scenes, whatever there is, I will be doing it.
What about the thing now, giving out a ticket just to get your autograph? Do you think you're gonna have any of that?
Well, I think that the most important thing is that the law, we will be enforcing the laws of the United States and also the state of Texas, and no one wants to give out a speeding citation or a ticket, but it's not that I'm giving it out, it's that person is earning it. If that person don't break the law, then the officer is not looking out there saying, oh, let me write this ticket or write that ticket. It's because you are violating the law, which the legislators have on the book said that you cannot violate. So we're not judge or jury, we're just law enforcement officers.
What about this, during school? What was the hardest part of everything you went through? What was the hardest?
I think that the hardest part was the pepper spray. I think it's like if you dip your face down in a barrel of flour, and then all of a sudden, every grain of flour that's on your face began to pop like a little firecracker. And all those firecrackers began to pop at once. And you can't put them out. You try to put water on them, you try to put ice on them, there's nothing that will put them out. I think mace, chemical was the most difficult.
What about now with the other firearms now? How'd you do with that? Pretty good?
Oh yeah, very, very good in firearms, and it's a part of policing because you never want to use your weapon. It's one of the force levels which an officer has, and that's one of the force levels you never want to get through. You hope that you can resolve everything with verbal command, with command presence and verbal command, and maybe some weaponless commands, weaponless force, but you never want to get to that final force, that deadly force, and you have to carry the gun, but you hope that you never have to use the gun.
What kind of reaction do you think you'll get off the general public?
Well,
I mean, especially probably the younger kids don't remember you, but say the ones back, in your day, the ones that remember you.
Well, I think that they will be, once I get out of the car, they'll say, aren't you Elvin Hayes? What are you doing out here? I think it'll be a shock for some and surprise, but then once again, the thing is that as an officer, you're taking an oath to protect and to serve and to enforce the laws of the Constitution of the United States and the state of Texas, and so that's all I would be doing.
As far as you know, you're the only. I think we've got one other NBA star. Shaq
Yeah.
was a honorary officer. Anyone else that you know of?
No, there really isn't, and I am the only Hall of Fame in the history of sports, Hall of Famer to ever be in law enforcement, out of football, baseball, hockey, any of it, and so that's quite an honor to be the first Hall of Famer ever in the history of Hall of Fames to be a law enforcement officer.
All right, sir. Appreciate it. Good luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Okay.
Brady, you know, the accomplishment of the college remain.
Well, tastes like losing.
I told him, you
Yeah,
said that's what it's made out of, jalapenos.
That first taste, that little first taste before it starts popping into little firecrackers, you taste that little taste, and then all of a sudden it goes crazy.
I've already been sprayed 3 times.
Okay, Captain Taylor, now you get
You know,
get in here and also.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
And on top of the anticipation.
Okay, sir. First of all, your name?
B.J. Whitburn,
Spell your last name.
W-H-I-T-B-U-R-N.
Okay, you're with College of England.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about what was with Kelvin Clare, having to go through all this school and everything. Get a lot of reaction around the students, things like that.
Well, really and truly about the first day or two, you know, having a celebrity in the class, you know, it's all great. Elvin's in here. Oh man, this is wonderful. And after you have a meeting or two with them and you're behind closed doors, then it kind of changes and they all realize that everybody's the same once you get behind that door, and everybody's going to have to work together and everybody's going to have to study together, and nobody's any better than anybody else.
What is this, 9-month class?
It's an 8-month class.
Okay.
772 hours.
Pretty difficult all the way through?
All the way through. All
What
the
is
way through.
probably the most hardest of the entire, through the whole time of class?
As far as academics go, I would say it's the Code of Criminal Procedure and the Penal Code and the Traffic Code. It's the equivalent of a 2-year degree in law being shoved into your throat in about a month or two. That's basically what they go through. It's 40 hours or 48 hours of nothing but penal code, 48 hours of search and seizure and Code of Criminal Procedure, and another 48 hours, another with traffic code. And it's nothing but law straight through. And it gets very old, it gets very boring and very tiring. And then the questions that we formulate on the test are to stimulate their thoughts. It's not one of these, you know, just give me A, B, or C. It's actually going, okay, what is the law on this? What do you have to do with this? What do you have to do with this? Because we could teach them how to pass the test, but that doesn't do them any good when they get on the street. If they don't know the information, then they could get themselves killed or get somebody else killed.
A big one. What do y'all teach for them to handle the media?
Don't. Every department's got a public information officer, and if you're not versed enough in what you're doing, then you need to get somebody that is.
Okay.
Good.